You are Locked On Knicks POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, we're back, and what a turnaround for the Bulls against the Knicks tonight. And because of it, the Knicks now have a, get this, losing streak. That's right, the Bulls beat the Knicks tonight in Chicago. Final score 139-126. They host and beat New York, and a big reason why, that third quarter we'll discuss. The Bulls outscored the Knicks 41-17 in the third quarter alone. They could not recover, could the Knicks? And now they've dropped, as we said, 2 in a row. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. Spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Remember to follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Knicks postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Knicks podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Knicks game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. We'll discuss everything Karl Anthony Towns, who tried to will the Knicks back in the fourth quarter. He almost did it. It was pretty close. Another 40-plus point performance for Cat we'll discuss. Jalen Brunson was the all-star in the first half, had 26 through the first 2 quarters. He obviously quieted down in the second half, a big reason why the Knicks did not win tonight. All that coming up on the postcast tonight. Meanwhile, the NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. And before we actually do get started, want to remind you that your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now, LockedOnDaily.com. Once again, that's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. And as we said, 2 for 2 on the mini 2-game road swing for New York through Oklahoma City and Chicago, and it did not go well. They lose both games. The Knicks are now just 9-2 following a loss this season. They've lost multiple games in a row twice, just 2 times this year. This was one of them. Again, they're now 9-2 following a loss. And by the way, we've told you this many times over the past week. From here on out, the Knicks won't have to travel much because much of January will take place at Madison Square Garden. However, the schedule gets difficult. And the Bulls, another good reason, despite struggling, specifically at home, well, they put up a good fight tonight, and the Knicks could not get the job done. As for the numbers, Karl Anthony Towns put up 44, his third time this season with at least 40, most of it coming in the second half, a lot of it coming in the fourth quarter, specifically when he willed the Knicks back within 5 or 6. That's as close as they could get. Obviously, the defense was a problem tonight. As for the starters, well, as we said, 44 from Karl Anthony Towns on 17 of 29 shooting. He was chucking, folks. Did make 3 of 7 from three-point land. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson, who was so good in the first half, he was Cat in the first half, and Cat was Brunson from the first half and the second half. They were really all-star-like tonight. First half for Brunson, second half for Cat. Obviously wasn't enough. Brunson, as we said, 26 points and 5 assists in the opening half through the first 2 quarters, but the faithful third proved to be the difference. The Bulls outscored the Knicks 41-17 in the third. Really an amazing run in the third quarter, a 26-7 run. At one point, the Knicks were up 11 on the Bulls, and they went down 19 at one point. So really a 30-point swing. And the Knicks end up losing by double digits, 139-126. Brunson ended up with 33, as we said. Every Knicks starter was a minus tonight, including Mikal Bridges, who was a minus 21. Now, we told you last night, and for obvious reasons, that every Knicks starter played above 40 minutes. Tonight, not the case. Josh Hart, in an interesting stat line, Josh Hart played the most. The only Knick to get up to 40 minutes. He played 40. He scored 2 points. Both of those baskets coming at the free throw line. He did not make a field goal tonight, Josh Hart, despite playing 40 minutes, nearly the entire game. He was 0 for 5 from the floor, 0 for 3 from three-point land, but believe it or not, had 16 rebounds and 10 assists. So even when things are not going well, specifically scoring for a guy like Josh Hart, just goes to show how much heart he has. Again, just 2 points, but 16 rebounds and 10 assists. Only 2 turnovers. Now, as for the assist number, we discuss this nightly, and it bears repeating. Usually when the Knicks pump in or dish out at least 30 assists, it's a win. Well, they've dished out 30-plus assists in 16 games this season. They did that only 10 times all of last year. Tonight, they did not reach the benchmark. Just 27 assists to 13 turnovers. So again, 27-13. Meanwhile, the assists were high for Chicago. 36 assists tonight to just 12 turnovers. So the Bulls really stuck it to the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns, as we said, another double-double, 44 points and 16 rebounds, including 6 offensive rebounds. The Knicks tonight, believe it or not, had 18 offensive rebounds, which is quite impressive, quite an impressive number. But again, it comes at the expense of the defense. The defense was the problem tonight. Mikal Bridges, minus 21. Jalen Brunson, minus 18. Josh Hart, a minus 14. Really, there was just one Knick who was a plus in the plus-minus category, and that's Cam Payne, who was a plus 5 in 14 minutes. He did score 8 points. The threes have been an issue for the Knicks. They were just 8 of 30 from beyond the arc tonight. That's 26%, folks, way below their season average. They shot just 49% from the floor tonight, 48 of 97. And again, below their season percentage. All right, the Knicks shot 17 free throws last night total versus Oklahoma City. Tonight, they shot 28, including 18 in the first half. So things quieted down specifically from the line for the Knicks in the second half. And usually when you're trailing and chucking up threes, that's what's going to happen. The Knicks tonight missed 22 three-pointers, made just 8 of them. Again, they shot 17 free throws for the entirety of the Oklahoma City game. They shot 18 free throws in the first half tonight. Again, 28 total. However, the Knicks, who have the third best three-point shooting percentage in the NBA, managed again to shoot just 8 of 30 tonight, 26.5%. The Knicks at one point in the second half missed 9 threes in a row before Cam Payne finally put one in. He actually had 2 3-pointers on the night. The Knicks are now 14-4 over their last 18. Obviously, they were 14-2 over their last 16. Chalk up a couple of losses there. They're 19-6 in their last 25. So things still looking excellent for the Knicks. But again, travel aside, the schedule gets very difficult. As we said, from here on out, the Knicks have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA. However, and we'll get to the schedule, however, most of January, the Knicks are going to be in front of the home folks at Madison Square Garden, including the next 5, which begins Monday night against Orlando, a beat-up Orlando team, in fact, at Madison Square Garden. Again, a huge 5-game homestand. We'll get to that coming up. But again, the Knicks 14-4 over their last 18, still pretty good. 19-6 in their last 25. They're now 9-2 following a loss. And by the way, the 139 points they gave up to the Bulls tonight, the most points they've allowed in a game this season. And considering Tibbs is a defensive-minded coach, defense first, he's not going to sleep well tonight. That'll be a rough plane ride home from Chicago to New York. We'll take our first break of the postcast. And when we come back, we'll obviously discuss the 5-game homestand coming up, and we'll get into the numbers as well. Impressive night from Coby White and Zach Lavine. The dynamic duo roughed up the Knicks once again. We'll get to all of that coming up. All right, the NFL playoffs are almost here, just a week away, folks, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W, and that's what we like to do. I love betting on which players will score a touchdown and how many points each team will score. Yes, folks, it is thrilling. Not only can you bet on who will win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for, get this, which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, we are back on the postcast. My name is Jay Berman. Remember to follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. You, of course, are watching the Knicks postcast as the Knicks met the Bulls in Chicago, and they lost. So that's now 2 losses in a row for the Knicks. 33 points tonight each for Coby White, who stuck it to the Knicks the first time the Knicks and Bulls played back in November. He again had 33, 9 3-pointers tonight for Coby White. Also, Zach Lavine, 33 points. He was a beast. So the combination of Coby White and Zach Lavine pump in 66 points. Lavine also had 7 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal, and a block. 12 rebounds for Nikola Vucevic. He had 22 points as well. So really that trifecta of Vucevic, White, and Lavine, well, they pumped in 88 of the 139 points that the Bulls scored. All right, the Knicks are now 14-4, as we said, over their last 18, and 19-6 in the last 25. However, they've lost for just the second time after a loss. So just 2 times this year, the Knicks have lost back-to-back games. This is one of them. They lost to Oklahoma City. That got their record to 24-11. And then again, they lose tonight to the Bulls to fall to 24-12, and still nothing to be ashamed of. The Knicks are 13-8 away from Madison Square Garden, which means they have just 4 losses on the MSG floor, which will be a kinder, gentler MSG floor when the Knicks finally return home after all these road games. Again, 2 games in Oklahoma City and Chicago on back-to-back nights, and it did not go well. First, they lose to Oklahoma City 117-107. Then they lose to the Bulls tonight 139-126. As we said, Karl Anthony Towns had 44 and 16, also dished out 5 assists and had a steal. And perhaps most importantly, only committed 3 fouls. But again, it wasn't enough. Karl Anthony Towns has had foul trouble, specifically lately, over the last couple of weeks. What it has done, cause and effect with everything, what it has done has kept his minutes down. Now, remember, all 5 Knicks starters against Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City played at least 40 minutes. The numbers came down tonight, obviously, for multiple reasons. One, can't go 40-plus back-to-back nights in the NBA. That's nuts. But also the foul trouble for Karl Anthony Towns of late has kept his minutes down. He played 37 minutes tonight. Mikal Bridges, who continues to lead the NBA in minutes played per game at 39, believe it or not, played just 33 minutes tonight. For him, that's a small number. He was 8 of 18. Problem for Mikal Bridges tonight was the 3-ball, as was the case with all the Knicks. He did not hit a 3-ball. 0 of 5 from beyond the arc for Bridges. Josh Hart didn't make a 3. Jalen Brunson hit just 1. And again, the Knicks were 8 of 30 from downtown, despite the 44-point performance from Karl Anthony Towns, the third time this season that he has scored at least 40. Again, assist to turnover ratio, something we pay attention to. Just 27 assists tonight for the Knicks to 13 turnovers. We told you about the 30-plus assist mark. When the Knicks get there, they usually win. They've done so, 30-plus assists in a game, 16 times. Okay, so that's roughly half the games they've played. For perspective, the Knicks last season did it a total of 10 times in 82 games. The Knicks have played just 36 games. They've already done it 16 times. So passing and making shots, obviously the key to the Knicks' success. All right, we talked about the 5-game homestand. Here it is. It is Orlando, Toronto, Oklahoma City, Milwaukee, and Detroit. So some difficult games in there. For the next week, we're pretty much going to go every other day. January 6th, Orlando. 2 days later, Toronto. 2 days later, Oklahoma City. 2 days later, Milwaukee. The final 2 games of that 5-game homestand are Milwaukee and Detroit. Those are Sunday and Monday, January 12th and 13th. So the Knicks will once again have a back-to-back situation in about a week's time. Not easy. Now, after the 5 home games in a row, they'll head out to Philadelphia on Wednesday, January 15th to play the Sixers. But they'll return home for 2 more home games, then visit Brooklyn, then 5 more home games. So they have 2 5-game homestands coming up with trips to Philadelphia and Brooklyn. Now, if the Knicks don't like flying, don't have to fly to Brooklyn, you certainly don't have to fly to Philly either. Take a train. So technically, the Knicks don't get on a plane if they commute to Philly and Brooklyn. They won't get on a plane again until Tuesday, February 4th. That's game day, so they'll do it the day before. But technically, the next flight the Knicks would have to face or take after tonight, Tuesday, February 4th in Toronto. Every game between now and then is either at home, in Philly, or Brooklyn. So the Knicks have plenty of time at home to make up for the good. Problem is, the competition gets stiffer. As we said, Oklahoma City again. They still have Toronto and Milwaukee. Minnesota and Atlanta come in. Then we've got Sacramento and Memphis and Denver and the Lakers and the Rockets. It's going to be difficult, folks. A lot of West Coast teams come in late January into early February. And again, it should be an interesting time for the Knicks. As for the standings, we do it every night. Let's do it again. The Knicks lose tonight, as we said, to the Bulls. Bulls are actually in the 10th spot, so they're fighting for positioning in the Eastern Conference. Knicks are now 24-12, as we said, so they lose another half game to the Celtics and to the Cavs. So the Knicks are now, as we said, 24-12. Celtics are 26-9, so the Knicks are 2.5 behind the Celtics and now 7 full games behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, we'll take our final break of the postcast tonight. And then once again, we'll dissect the numbers from both the Chicago side and the New York side. And of course, we'll take a look at the schedule and the look ahead coming up next. All right, I love going to live events. We've discussed it. It bears repeating. Whether it's sports, music, theater, or comedy, one of my favorite memories last year was of attending a concert, which just happened to be in December. It was fun. The energy, the excitement, unforgettable. Now, Game Time has made it even easier to get tickets for your favorite events with their new feature, Game Time Picks. This feature filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Recently, I was looking up tickets to an upcoming Knicks game using the Game Time app. With Game Time picks, I found amazing deals and could even see the view from my seat before buying the tickets. The super deal was particularly impressive, offering great seats at unbeatable prices. Plus, the app's all-in pricing shows the total cost up front with no surprise fees at checkout. That's huge. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. All right, final segment of the postcast as the Knicks lose to the Bulls. Again, they lost all the way back in November. Of course, Coby White hit those 3 free throws late to seal the victory. The Knicks, at one point in that game, trailed by 22 to fight back to take the lead, only to lose. So the Bulls have their number. Knicks were looking for a little bit of revenge. They didn't get it. In fact, they were beat down specifically in the second half. A 41-17 scoring spread in the third quarter. Bulls 41, Knicks 17. At one point, the Knicks led by 11 tonight. At one point, they trailed by 19. Both of those numbers came in the second half. So it was a 30-point turnaround. Again, 139-126, the final score. Knicks tried to get back into it, courtesy of Karl Anthony Towns in the fourth quarter. As we told you, Towns, a game-high 44, including 16 rebounds and 3 3-pointers. But again, it wasn't enough. The defense just wasn't there tonight, and you know that's going to drive Tibbs up a wall. OKC reserves outscored the Knicks bench 44-5 last night. A direct cause and effect of the starters playing over 40 minutes. Tonight, more of the same. Every bench guy for the Bulls scored. Meanwhile, just Payne, Shamet, and Precious, who was not good tonight, scored for the Knicks. So again, the reserves, the bench situation for the Knicks, something we need to discuss. Tibbs needs to discuss, and he'll have to answer for those questions coming up. Again, the bench is a problem. The minutes are a problem. We told you about Mikal Bridges averaging 39 minutes a game, tops in the NBA. He played just 33 minutes tonight and was not in foul trouble. Josh Hart led all players with 40 minutes played. And believe it or not, he scored 2 points, did not make a field goal tonight, Josh Hart. He did chip in with 16 rebounds and 10 assists. So anytime you need a hustle play or a heart play, if you will, look to Josh Hart. Jalen Brunson, 26 points, 5 assists in the first half. You figured it was another 50-burger for him. Well, he scored just 7 points in the second half to total 33. Had 3 assists in the second half as well. So he ended up with 33 and 8. Obviously, that's good, but not good enough, especially when Coby White, the Knick killer, and Zach Lavine, the Knick killer, each put up 33. Lavine put up 31 in that first meeting all the way back in early November at Madison Square Garden. That was, of course, as we said, the game Coby White hit those 3 free throws late to stun the Knicks. But again, no such stunning tonight. The Bulls going away 139-126. All right, real quick, Orlando is up next. They're on the schedule for Monday. That's a 7:30 tip time, as will the next 3 games, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Orlando, Toronto, and then Oklahoma City as the Knicks try to get back into the win column. Again, they have lost 2 games in a row. Oklahoma City was 117-107. Chicago, 139-126. The Knicks clearly did not have their legs in the second half. A byproduct of playing over 40 minutes the night before, then traveling. The Bulls were off since Wednesday, so a huge advantage. And every team goes through back-to-backs throughout the season. this was a particularly brutal one with a long flight and the fact that that Chicago has been off since Wednesday while the Knicks were in Oklahoma City last night. All right, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. Also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Knicks, the All-Stars, Gavin Shaw and Alex Wolf. They handle all the stuff again at Locked On Knicks. Follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Knicks are 14-4 over their last 18, 19-6 in their last 25. However, they've dropped 2 in a row. They'll try and snap that streak 2 nights from now against Orlando at the Garden. First of a 5-game homestand, a key one. And the Knicks will begin it again Monday night against Orlando. And we, of course, will be with you for the postcast after every game. Good night, everyone.